Hi, I'm Rock,
And I'm Trey.
and you're watching
Rockin' with Trey. But the job that you worked in was with young boys transitioning from, trouble back into the world, trying to get their lives together. And so you were like a group living director, right?
Yeah, that story is crazy too. I had a friend that worked for the company, and he called me. He's like, "Man, you'd be great working with these kids." I was like, "Man, I'm not trying to even have no kids. I ain't trying to deal with no kids." It was like 2011. Like ain't 2012 is when it was. I was like, "Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna go mess with some bad little boys." And he's like, "Oh man, come check it out, come check it out." So he hounded me for about a month for me to come out, and when I finally did, I was like, "Well, I'll go and I'll be a part-time overnight because RJ wasn't born yet, and I just figured that'd work best, just working overnights and yada yada yada." But so I ended up working there, and I went from being a part-time overnight to a full-time staff to being promoted 3 times in the first year and a half of working for the company. So I went from that to being the group living director, which was in charge of all the hiring, firing, the staff culture, the student culture, just everything. I had my hands in everything in the entire program. So I went from not wanting to do something to almost that being something that I absolutely found out that I love doing, just being around people, trying to help people become the best versions of themselves, helping them see, just because you made a mistake doesn't mean that is what defines you. It's not what defines you. It's about how you bounce back, how you push forward, how you go through things in the troubles and turbulences of your life. That's really what matters, not just making mistakes. So that's kind of like, that was my 20-year synopsis. It was a lot of traveling, then a lot of, ended up working a job that I didn't think that I would like, that I actually came to love. And I love being around people, serving people, talking with people, helping them see things in them maybe that they don't see, or maybe that life's beaten out of them, so to speak. I just really enjoy that. I really enjoy helping people become who they envision themselves being as kids.
So going back to the story, kind of in the previous video, there was this call on my life, and God had begun to call me into the ministry. Well, I accepted that call, and I have been with God for 20 years, a 20-year relationship that is unlike any other relationship that I have ever had, even this one.
It's true.
Yeah, it is true. It is true, and it's good to say. As I went on with this relationship with the Lord, I began to grow in God. I began to be used by God, and I began to work in the ministry just full time. And I mean, like, it was a lifestyle change. It was church on Tuesdays, church on Thursdays, church on Fridays, events on Saturdays, Sunday mornings and Sunday nights. And then, just learning to understand his word, praying and fasting. That has been my last 20 years, amongst other things. The other things in between my relationship with God, I had children. I did marry. I married, and it was maybe a couple years later after I met Rock, and I had beautiful children. I have 4 beautiful children, Brooke, Sylvester, Ron, and Zoe. I just wanted to be the best mother that I could possibly be, and I just fell in love with these kids, and just tried to give them every piece of me that that I could possibly give to them, and tried to give them the best of everything. And, you know, um, tried to give them the best of everything. And, I also started my own business with a friend of mine. We were event planners, and we did everything, every kind of party, every kind of wedding, every kind of event that you could think of. And so literally I've been doing that for about 17 years. I became a teacher. I was a teacher for almost 10 years, which was really cute and really sweet. I had a lot of fun with those kids and built a lot of relationships with a lot of families. We're able to, be a part of raising, children. And I was ordained as a minister maybe 3 years ago. And that was like, whoa, who would have ever thought, we had to go through this, I just don't even know what to call this kind of training that we went through, the type of classes. I just felt like it was a college course squished into into like a few months. But I passed. I got my license. I've actually been renewed since then. You had to go through, kind of like a renewal training type class since then. And so I have held on to my license. But I am an ordained minister, and that means so much to me. I am so just like, wow, God,
So let's go back to the mom part. Like you talk about, I skipped over stuff. So when we were younger, you envision her as a mom, and you kind of think about like what she would have been like as a mom, and it completely blew my mind when I seen the relationship she has with her children. It's very unique. It's very special. It's really cool to see, and it's actually taught me a lot about just, relationships and the sacrifices you have to make, and just the continued care and continued love that you show and you see. And you can see it in all of her kids. All of her kids are great. All of her kids reflect all the best traits in Trey. So it's really cool to see on that level. And you like I said, you always wondered what happened, but then when you meet her kids, you're like, oh yeah, she really poured a lot of herself into them, and it's really amazing to see them growing and them also falling in love with God and having a relationship with God. Like all her kids are saved, so I think that was something that she didn't mention, but that's really cool. That's really special because not everybody has that. And then for me to not live in that world at all and to come back and see it, it was really cool, especially in the world we live in today. So,
but I've never lived that life either. So to be honest with you, like I know I'm raising them, and you would think that I'm, I know what I'm doing. I'm a part of all this, but this is my first time really ever seeing children saved too. Like I'm learning, as I go. Oh, this is what sanctified children do. Oh, this is, I remember, when we was younger, we would play, hopscotch and double dutch and do all these different.
Hopscotch.
Okay, yes, I would. Yeah. And so I would, you play all these games back in our day, but, there's times that I walked into my kids' room and, they would be laid out on the floor, two of them in a line this way and another in a line this way, and they'd be making a cross, and then I would hear another one saying, kill him, beat him, kill him, Jesus, spit. I mean, they were playing a crucifixion game, and I'm sitting there like, Lord, is this right? I didn't know whether to stop them or what, but that's what saved kids do. They don't know nothing but God. They don't know nothing but Jesus. And so it's been really interesting trying to figure out, this whole thing with these kids and them growing up. So it's really interesting to me too, and it has been a blessing. Definitely been a blessing.
So kind of wrapping up the 20 years, we both lived, did a lot of things, both have kids. It was a great experience. It was fun. A lot of it was unexpected. Can't plan everything, but it was great.
I tell you what was unexpected. What's unexpected is what comes up in our next video, and it's this. I I mean, you could have never told me that something like this was going to happen. To be back with my first love.
Yeah, that's truly a crazy story. Even sitting here thinking about it now, that was something that not in my wildest dreams did I ever think would happen. I didn't hear about her.
I would say in the last 10 years, I hadn't heard anything about you either.
Yeah, so it was just something that, was supposed to happen. Obviously, everything that happened up until this point, was by God's will, but I never thought it'd be back with this one. So, you'll hear more about that in our next video.
Yeah, we get to go and talk about how we reconnected.
Yeah, now she tried to game me up. Can you believe that? Try to use game on me.
What? Me?
She must not know who she's dealing with.
That is not the truth. But we do invite you back to our next video. So we want you to like and send comments right here below. And we want you to subscribe. Make sure that you subscribe. Countdown. We want you to subscribe in 5 seconds. Are you ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push that button. Check out what's coming your way on Rockin' with Trey. So tonight we are going to start scrapbooking because Rob got me a scrapbook.
I'm gonna sit and watch. I said I will hold something in place. I can see these big old mitts. What can I do with them? These are for the manly things.
I think your mitt hit it.
And that's why I'm doing this. I'm just gonna sit here. You can do the rest. It's too much stuff.